Hello, everyone. Welcome to the It Doesn't Matter podcast. And we've got me, John Lee Strapbacks. And we also have...
The Dominican Dream, baby. This is Papi Platano.
There he is. And we also have...
I am the notorious one. I am Dom. Boo.
All right, we're discussing a very special person here today, a WWE Hall of Famer.
Two-time
Hall of Famer, legendary professional wrestler, the life and times, the career of Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash. So, Dom, what do we have going on with Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash?
Big Sexy. Well, he started out in WCW. He was a master blaster known as Steel, and that was trash. Then he was Oz from the Wizard of Oz. That was trash.
Oh, baby.
Then he was Vinny Vegas. How you doing?
That was a money character.
It was a money character. But that was trash.
That's what Shawn Michaels got his attention.
Yes. Shawn
Made him
Michaels.
hard.
Yes. Made him Diesel. God damn it.
Yes.
Diesel. Like a Mack truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in 1993, Diesel debuts in the WWF. And he becomes the Heartbreak Kid's bodyguard. His, what was the term that he used? His
insurance policy?
Insurance policy. Geico.
Liberty. Bibbity. Oh.
So we see Nash accompanying Shawn Michaels, doing the typical big man thing. Didn't really have no personality, but, he was taking dudes out at that time. But Shawn Michaels, he elevated. He rose to the top. And, one of the Diesel's major roles was in the ladder match WrestleMania 10, even though he got thrown out. But let's fast forward. 1994 happens. And Royal Rumble. Let's go right into that. We talked about it earlier this year, how Diesel was a made man in the Royal Rumble in 1994. This is his coming out party right here. Guys, what do you think about that?
John?
Well, Big Daddy Cool, it's weird, you think, pro wrestling has been around a very long time, since before television even, and, what is most famous is the stuff or what happened while you were growing up. It just so happened that my birthday coincides, my age coincides with WrestleMania every single year. So you feel like the World Wrestling Federation was tailor-made for a guy like me. So Diesel throwing out a record number of competitors at the 1994 Royal Rumble, that's what it was called. You had, every Royal Rumble thereafter, you had to beat the Diesel number. And I think Kane would do that eventually, but that's what it was called. You were dieseling people out of the Rumble. So that's where he made his first big impression as a in-ring force, an in-ring competitor. And he would, gain the trust of the suits in the back, Vince McMahon, Pat Patterson most likely, and Shawn Michaels, of course. And he was a competent hand, and he outgrew his bodyguard role. Eventually he started being a championship tag team partner with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Two dudes with serious attitudes. And they would be the champions, and like any tag team, it would lead to their breakup later in the year of 1994. So sad. Shawn Michaels super kicking everybody. He was following the career path of that no good, dastardly Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan can't keep no friends, and neither can the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. But this show is about Big Daddy Cool Diesel. All right.
Hey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a second, John, man. When it came to the Royal Rumble, that's what really made him. I mean, you going back to the old characters, like you said, with Oz and Vinny Vegas. I think Vinny probably could have made something if they actually put the effort into it with WCW, but I guess apparently from what you hear back then, that once you're slotted into a certain role, you're done. It doesn't matter where you're going, like how popular you are. Your pay grade pretty much tells you where you're going to be going in the marquee or anywhere on the card. So that was a fail on WCW because they had a big guy, a very athletic big guy, which reminded me of somebody who they said would never make money, who was an Undertaker. Yes,
He was
another big
not.
guy. Yes. They just made a big mistake, man. That guy can actually talk. He wasn't one of my favorites. Obviously, in previous podcasts, I've said he wasn't my guy, but the guy was very impressive, very athletic, and the Royal Rumble itself, when he eliminated all those people, just made an impact on most guys that were just like, oh, this guy's actually going to do something. So it was actually a good move on them to start with something like that. Him being tag teams with Shawn actually helped out too because Shawn was that big personality that just everybody had to just be drawn to. And having the tag team titles and then having them break up again too, give him a little bit more personality, give him that baby face like, damn, I can't trust this little SOB. So, yeah, it was actually better off that he went to WWF/E instead of staying at WCW where he was floundering and not actually being used correctly to his utmost advantage or his utmost talent.
Yeah, so at this time, what was it, late 93, early 94, Vince had the steroid allegations going on, and, he wanted his big men to, to be dominant and be the champ. Well, Hogan's gone, so you got to go with the next big guy, and, he's pretty much all natural. And Kevin Nash became that guy in 1995. He defeated Bob Backlund in, 8 seconds in the Garden, something like that?
Yeah. I think they showed a clip on Raw or Saturday Night. I forget which one it was. Was it Saturday Night?
Something like that. But either way, it was a house show and he won the title.
Yeah. It was one of those times where WWF actually allowed a superstar to win a major title during a house show instead of showing it on TV. Uh-oh, Diesel. You heard me. 8 seconds. That's all I needed.
I don't even know if that was on my end or not.
Hey, you said 8 seconds within that time frame. Go back to the clip.
Producer, I know we're talking about Diesel, the vehicle, the truck, and the gasoline, but could you stop with the automotive noises, please? Thank you, producer.
It sounds like I hear a helicopter now.
Oh, it's the opening of Monday Night Raw. Sweet.
Exactly. You have no control of what's going on, brother.
Oh, Lord.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos in the kitchen.
New London Rough Riders, we go hard.
All day, all night.
Oh,
Literally.
All right, so in 95, Diesel, he's your heavyweight champion, and the market is down. Diesel's all about the money, and he was like the company wasn't making money, and he was like a underpaid heavyweight champion. So he eventually loses the title to Bret the Hitman Hart in a small package, and he becomes a heel. He takes out the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. And this gives him a little more edge, and he rolls from there because after this, at WrestleMania 12, he takes on The Undertaker. That was pretty cool. John, what do you think about that?
I think it was all cool, man. Diesel and Razor Ramon had an Intercontinental Championship match at SummerSlam 1994. Diesel, I don't know, one of them was the Intercontinental Champion, but Diesel was an Intercontinental Champion. By the time he beat Bob Backlund for the championship, he was a Triple Crown winner, the only title that they could give. They only had 3 belts back then. Imagine that.
Grand Slam.
Yes, Diesel was the longest reigning WWF champion in the 90s up until the early 2000s. A streak broke by John Bradshaw Layfield, and he was the longest reigning champion, but he's also the lowest drawing champion. It was a bad time for the wrestling business. Both companies, perhaps. WCW did shoot off Nitro that year, but hey. But yeah, this is Diesel was the champion all year long. Then his outgoing programs as he left the WWF were losing to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 12 at the Pond in Anaheim. And then his final match, somehow that gave him number 1 contender status as he faced Shawn Michaels for the World Heavyweight Championship at In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies. And of course, that would lead to the curtain call in Madison Square Garden. And then he would show up on Nitro not too far long after that.
And this is where it gets real. We get Scott Hall coming through the crowd. Hey, yo, you know why I'm here? You know why they sent me? Whatever he said. Say it, Abel.
Hey, yo, you know who I am,
Yeah,
but you don't know why I'm here. Hey, yo.
Apparently, he's Vince Russo on Dark Side of the Ring, episode 4.
Bro.
I guess
That's two.
They said, and who killed WCW? Vince Russo said, bro, 353 times, something like that.
That'll kill my perspective on the show, bro.
In one episode, bro.
Damn, bro.
Oh, Lord.
5.
Jesus. There's a lot going on tonight.
Man, hey, you talking about Diesel? You get the engines running? Whoop, whoop. There you go.
Oh, Lord. All right, so Kevin Nash is in WCW with his boy Scott Hall, and there's a hostile takeover. He's powerbombing Eric Bischoff through through the table, through the stage. They go on backstage. They beating everybody up. Rey Mysterio, poor Rey Mysterio, adios mio, getting thrown like a lawn dart. And, not knowing that these guys, well, real fans know, but not knowing that they were signed to WCW, they were playing like they were still WWF guys at the time. And,
yeah, because apparently some of the guys in the back didn't know if they were really signed to WCW at the time, even though some probably were on the in on it. But there were a couple of lower tier guys that were probably like, are we really getting invaded? Like, we're just allowing this shit going on?
Well, you have to take yourself back to that time where the infamous Brian Pillman tucked some strings and got out of his WCW contract by fooling Kevin Sullivan and Eric Bischoff. So the shenanigans never ended early in the Monday Night Wars. So that's why, there's that era of believability where Kevin Nash and Scott Hall really signed. Were they really working for Vince McMahon? No one knew. Everything was a little tight-lipped back then. So that's what that was. And, because of pending litigation at the Great American Bash, Eric Bischoff interviewed the Outsiders and asked them straight up, yes or no, do you work for the World Wrestling Federation? No. No. So that kind of kills the angle a little bit, but they spiced it up because they threw that dirty, dastardly Eric Bischoff right through the stage, baby. And that would lead to a mysterious 6-man tag team match at the Bash at the Beach.
The hostile takeover.
Yeah,
PS1 graphics.
Probably one of the most infamous moments of all time, man. This right here is a new world order of professional wrestling, brother. And this crap right on this ring, that's what I think about you fans.
Mean Gene, he was so nonchalant. Hulk Hogan, there's a lot of garbage in his ring. What happened? Like,
I've known you. This is unlike you. I don't even think Mean Gene was in on the situation, but come on now. You got to be professional. You understand what's going on.
I think we all knew, I didn't watch it live, but when Hogan came down to the ring and he just dropped the leg, oh my God. I think everybody knew at that time. And you just see the people just go nuts, like, oh my God.
I remember do you know where you were when this happened? I know where I was. I was in my room there. And I was watching on scrambled porn on television.
Pornhub.
And I was listening to the show because that's what we did back then because we didn't have pay-per-view. To this day, I never had pay-per-view capability. And you just heard Hogan's coming out. And what side is he on? And what's going on? It was so effing crazy, man.
Is he the third member?
You can't wait to go to school and talk about it with your friends.
I told you he did it. I told you. Bobby Heenan.
Bobby hated Hogan for all of these years, and he finally got to say, see, you can't trust him. Can't trust that dastardly yellow. Oh, man. I mean, as a kid, man, I didn't understand the whole heel turns. I didn't really see too many of them, like, at least not in WCW like that, because I wasn't watching. Hogan was the only reason why I even turned the channel over there. Him and Razor and Kevin. I know we're supposed to be talking about Kevin, but that moment in time is just incredible. It's probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest moments of our lifetime that just changed the wrestling business forever.
I mean, we're talking about the believability of angles back in those days, back when we were young, and as kind of mentioned on our recent interview podcast with the Pearl River powerhouse Ahmed Johnson, I did want to mention to him. I mentioned to him this angle he had with the British Bulldog, where they had arm wrestling competition, and Bulldog Owen and the Bulldog were like, "Hey, he's too greasy, and he's too loud." So, Ahmed's wiping off his arm and stuff on the referee's shirt, and, it was all a fake BS contest. They just beat him up, And I believe that was on what I call the worst episode of Monday Night Raw ever. That was an episode where Vader bombed Yokozuna's leg, and they had to get the forklift out. That's the one where Diesel had to knock Shawn Michaels out with the belt. It was a very sad and depressing Monday Night Raw, and so angles used to be real, man. Used to be so real. But the NWO was part of that, as they kind of rebranded it the reality era. WCW was the reality era, and WWF was still dealing with garbage men and Greenwich snobs. So they were hot. WCW was hot.
Shoot.
Yes, WCW was hot. But the NWO started running wild.
Sure did.
They took out everybody. Hell, everybody they took out, they joined the NWO.
It was stupid. I hated that too, especially like that whole angle with Bischoff. I mean, dude, you just got beat up, and it's like, you're really gonna join the NWO? Oh, it was all a rib. I was in on it the whole time. Come on, dude. You really gonna think that anyone's gonna believe you? I get it. You were the guy that ran things, but they weren't saying any of that at the time. Hell, people still didn't even realize that Vince McMahon was the guy that actually owned WWE or F as fans, at least not insiders. I don't know. I didn't like it personally. I hated it. I hated seeing all these guys losing to the NWO, and then you just join them. Like, are you serious? If you don't beat them, join them? No. Fight that good fight. You're the good guys. You can come back, come stronger. That's how it's supposed to be done. You don't join the bad guys to stay bad guys. No. I don't know. It ended up with a better era down the road that we were never expecting, but if you really look back on it, I think they dragged it on way too long. They could have made more guys out of that whole storyline with the NWO. But what do you think, John?
I mean, this was what Kevin Sullivan, the booker at the time, wanted. Heat. He wanted it to be your attic, Abel. That's what he wanted it to be.
It's hot. It is hot.
It's spicy and it tastes great, but that's what it's about. And you know what? It was effective. It worked. I mean, was it good for the long-term condition for World Championship Wrestling? No. It made WCW seem really uncool. Who wants to cheer WCW when you have the cool guys beating everybody up? That's why you had a Sting and a Lex Luger, and even though the giant flip-flop sides, you had DDP, never joined the NWO. Goldberg never joined the NWO.
Booker T.
Well, not yet, until later. One of us doesn't belong. But yeah, Kevin Nash. I mean, that's why the NWO and this whole angle is such a big deal, because it was done incredibly well, and Kevin Nash for better, for worse, has been living off those coattails ever since. You know, but you just can't deny that the NWO, Hogan, Hall, and Nash was the hottest thing going for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean, it totally gets credit for it.
So, yeah, completely. Would you say he's the actual ringleader of the whole NWO, Kevin Nash?
What's funny is, like, you know, each person in the NWO was very intelligent, you could say. Hogan, very smart businessman.
Yep.
Scott Hall, incredible mind for the business. Kevin Nash, he was the booker for WCW. Incredibly smart guy and crafty and witty, you know. But as the years have gone on, that was each of their reputations. But as the years have gone on, Kevin Nash, for whatever reason, he's kind of lost that luster, especially in the Who Killed WCW series and some podcast clips we've seen. He doesn't come off. I mean, part of me thinks that he's just playing that character, like, hey, I don't care, whatever. You know, it's kind of like that only goes so far. It's like, now you just seem like you're an idiot. You know,
He's been like that though, man. It seemed like he's been like that for like the past, like the dying days of WCW.
Like, I think I saw a clip with Will Sasso doing an impression of Kevin Nash on Kevin Nash's own podcast, which is just, I didn't have a problem with the guy. Every single guy, I didn't have a problem with him.
Basically.
Yeah, I was a big Kevin. Is still a big Kevin Nash fan, but not going to deny that he has lost his luster as time has gone on. I mean, he's lost, you know, in real life, he's lost a lot. His son, his best friend, and lots of people in pro wrestling. So that will affect you. So hopefully, it's just you know, a temporary slump, and you can regain that reputation of being one of the great minds of pro wrestling.
I agree.
He's so chill. He just keeps smoking weed, you know?
That's the
probably
problem.
it. He's so mellow. Every single time you see him in an interview, you know, this guy should be doing this, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter. Vince Russo, he's the one that killed WCW.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there's a time to be mellow, but sometimes you just gotta speak your mind. I mean, he did say he had a mind of his own back in the day, but it just seems like, I don't know if it's because he doesn't want to like step on anybody's toes, or he's looking to get a job back with the E because Hunter's his best friend. I mean, if you had that kind of mindset back in the day, I get it. You can just say, this is how I was feeling in my 20s, my 30s, because that's how we feel right now. We feel a certain way at a certain point in our lives where we feel like we're untouchable and nothing's going to stop us. And then the older we get, the more experience we get in the world, things change. It's like, okay, I see why so-and-so did this or why we should have done that.
Kevin Nash doesn't care, though. You know, like you said, he's all about the money. Everything, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's why he went to WCW. And, you know, he just did it. He went back to WWE for the money.
I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, with that line of work, your body is just, it goes through hell. You don't know when your next paycheck's going to stop. And, hey, get that bag, man. Even if you're just sitting there just talking. A lot of guys don't understand that, hey, your character alone could get you a lot further than the matches you have in the ring. He had a really strong character, even though it wasn't my cup of tea. He's still making money, just showing up, being Kevin Nash. Big Daddy cool.
Hey, Strap Facts question. When he jackknifed the Giant, did he legit break his neck, or is that just like storyline? That was terrible.
I really do think it was an accident, and they just turned it into storyline. I don't know how. I mean, hey, listen, man. Steve Austin got cranked on the neck, and he had, 5 more years in the business. The Big Show, Paul White, no BS, Paul White. If he really did get hurt, man, he didn't show for the next 25 years. You know, his knees maybe, but not his neck. So I think he got lucky. He got real lucky. He turned it into an angle though. But Jesus, get a finisher you can use on everybody. Okay, Jericho.
That's why Jericho keeps elevating. You know, he keep the Judas effect, the code breaker, walls of Jericho.
The learning tree.
Yes, the learning tree. All right, let's talk about my man Goldberg. 173-0. Do you think it was right for Kevin Nash to break the streak?
Was that his first night booking too, right? Because they was all trying to figure out how to beat Goldberg. Everyone was saying, "Oh, we can't do it. This guy, that guy." I mean, you could have had DDP. You almost had it at Halloween Havoc. Granted, they didn't do it because they were afraid of pulling the trigger on that. But DDP was that guy. He was the People's Champion. He was that hot.
Hell, they ran out of the damn time. Typical WCW fashion. But everybody knows, even in Who Killed WCW, they said that Bischoff was overwhelmed, so Kevin Nash took the book, and that Goldberg was better chasing, but it needed somebody to beat him, and he came with that finish. But it should have been DDP. They should have elevated another guy. Kevin Nash was already a former champion at the time, so he didn't need it.
Now, did you guys watch, like, when we did when you're doing the research for this podcast? Did you see that match with Goldberg versus Kevin Nash, and watch how the crowd reacted towards Goldberg and Kevin Nash?
For Starcade?
Yeah.
Oh, I stand by. Yeah.
Yeah, the crowd did not want Goldberg anymore for some reason. They were just tired of it.
It was the same thing over and over.
Like, if you did not know anything about that match and you just watch it straight up, like, hey, just watch this match between Kevin Nash and Goldberg. Here's the storyline. He's the #1 contender, and this guy's undefeated. Here we go. And that crowd was on fire. Kevin Nash was hot. Goldberg was hot. It's an incredible match. It had a stupid finish, but it wasn't that terrible of a finish. It was kind of cool, actually. Yeah. It's just that whole finger poke and all that nonsense that ruined it. But Kevin Nash being was Kevin Nash the right person to beat Goldberg? That's arguable. That's debatable. Do I think he was a good choice to beat him? Yes. You know, you want to give it to DDP? Was he a good person? They had an incredible match at Halloween Havoc. Could he have been it? Yes. Lots of things. But I don't think Kevin Nash, whether he was in charge of it or not, I think he was the right guy at the right time to end the streak. Could they have kept it going? Sure. It just would have. The people would have been wanting it to end anyway, and then they wouldn't. Who would it have been? Who knows? Who knows?
It would have went from who's next to finish it already.
Yes. Like Jade Cargill and AEW. Like, what's this winning streak? All goes to Chris Statlander.
Yeah, we were so mad about that, man. I forgot what pay-per-view was that. Like she won the match. Next note, Statlander came out of nowhere, and then
I get it, but I don't want it.
No,
that's how you gonna leave?
Yeah, she had like maybe one more date or another match with Chris, and that was the end of it. I mean, not the way I wanted her to end her career with AEW. Just she really was an incredible talent that they should have never let go. But it wasn't their fault anyway because she wanted to leave. She had gotten a little bit of practice in AEW, made a little name for herself, and then WWE started calling. So I can't blame her for that. I mean, you gotta go where the money's at. And like people could bitch and complain about her going for the money, but hey, like she said too, there's only so many years I got in that bump card. I'm gonna take it and get that bag, and I respect her for that.
AEW gave Jade Cargill a platform to be a superstar that WWE just took and expanded upon, but it's not something WWE would have ever given her from the jump.
No.
Never.
No.
So
Hawk 2.
What a rush.
Yes.
The only meme I do like.
Hawk. Animal.
Twab. Hawk Twab. But anyway, so yes, this will lead to the Fingerpoke of Doom and the NWO Elite, black, red, white, blue, orange, sunflower, daffodil. And that whole angle would just disappear up in smoke. A few months later, Kevin Nash would beat Diamond Dallas Page for the world title at Slamboree. Then he'd have a summer program with all sorts of people, including the Macho Man, the new and improved Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah.
And
What up, Mach?
And we would finally get that one-on-one matchup between Hulk Hogan and Big Daddy Cool Kevin Nash. And Kevin Nash was like every Hogan opponent you've ever seen. He went down to the big boot and the leg drop, brother, and he would retire, but then he would come back once Vince Russo took over the book later that year.
Jesus.
We should definitely revisit.
No, thank you.
Bash at the Beach, 2000.
Bash at the Beach, 2000. Oh my God, who drove the Hummer, Dom? Wait, you said 2000? 2000?
That's when Hogan laid down and Bischoff came out, cut the promo and all that.
Oh, Jesus.
That bald server.
Go fuck yourself.
That's all right.
Yeah, he did say that. No, I gotta go. But going back to how the aftermath of the Goldberg and Kevin Nash match happened, the whole Fingerpoke of Doom. If that never would have happened, maybe would have been talking about something else. It's just that finish was so impactful to our eyes. It's like you took the belt off this unbeatable guy with a pretty. I agree with you, John. That was actually a pretty impressive, very smart way of getting that belt off him. But then you just, boop, and then you lay down, and then have a big belly laugh. I'm sorry, I get it. I think they did the same thing with Shawn and Triple H. They want to get the European title. That was more haha. That wasn't like
Massachusetts.
That wasn't that wasn't a main title. So that one they can let them get away with. But this is a major show, a major title, and then you just pull this stunt. It just screams basura.
That was their downfall. That Fingerpoke of Doom and don't change the channel. Formerly Cactus Jack over here in World Championship Wrestling, known as Mick Foley, he's about to win the title. That put butts in the seats. Literally, once they did that, that was it.
I was like,
a tape show. They're gonna respond to a tape show. That's what happened. WCW goes downhill, and then when it comes crashing down, it hurts inside. That's what happened.
And Mick Foley's winning the title on the other side. You're gonna change the channel. Change the channel. Mick Foley was hot. He was on a roll at that time, and he was our quote-unquote people's champ.
Well, let's fast forward a couple more years. So WCW goes out of business, and then we get the invasion.
Diesel. I know. You didn't show up. You ran out of fuel.
God.
There was no Hogan. There was no Scott Hall. There was no Kevin Nash.
There's no police on Coleman Street.
Nope. Just the Rough Riders.
They sleep. But when Nash, Hall, and Hogan finally do make their appearance, wasn't that No Way Out 2002?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's when they made their appearance. And so we're on the road to WrestleMania. We get Stone Cold Steve Austin going against Scott Hall. We have the most electrifying man in all entertainment going against the immortal Hollywood Hogan. And we have Kevin Nash backstage icing his knees. John, how come Kevin Nash didn't have a match at WrestleMania?
I've had this very question myself, and my only theories are that between the two, Scott Hall was the better worker of the two. Scott Hall had been wrestling in Japan. He was showing up and showing out, and he was the better worker. That's what Austin wanted. He wanted to wrestle the better worker, even though Kevin Nash was more of his personal friend. Alternatively, Kevin Nash being Scott Hall's second at WrestleMania was insurance, was backup. In case Scott Hall didn't make it, then Kevin Nash could step right in and be face Steve Austin, which I think was a bigger draw. So it's still mind-boggling. But yeah, it was just, Stone Cold did have the first opportunity to face Hulk Hogan. He turned it down. He didn't want to look bad against Hogan. The Rock didn't know what he was getting into. But it turned into one of the more amazing moments in WWFE history. But yeah, so Kevin Nash would just they would have some action. He would get involved in the match. He would get stunned. They would come out after the Hogan Rock match and do a little beat down and a little heat and run away. And Kevin Nash would continue to be a part of the NWO and Monday Night Raw for a couple months until Homeboy got injured. Tore his quad like his friend Triple H. And that would lead to the end of the NWO.
Jesus.
Yep. All right, so that was 2003, right?
When he got hurt?
No.
Triple H.
What?
Triple H got hurt.
Triple H?
Yeah.
Triple H was 2001.
2001.
Yeah, he missed the Alliance era.
Yep.
Future cast, you want to talk about a fascinating 365 days of one person's career going up, down, and all around. That would be Triple H in 2002. Coming back from injury, Madison Square Garden, jean jacket, leather jacket at the same time. Big Pop wins the Royal Rumble. Literally, Phil Brooks, main events, WrestleMania. Okay? Loses the title to Hulk Hogan 1 month later. Turns on his best friend, who is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Okay? Gifted the World Heavyweight Championship and begins a reign as the most hated heel in WWE for the next 2 years. That's Triple H in 2002. One guy. 3 letters. Triple H. Coming soon.
Woo!
Yup.
Anyway.
All right, so back to Kevin Nash. So,
That's right.
All right. Triple H got hurt, came back. Kevin Nash, he had a little run, and it was nothing serious. Then he left briefly, right? And that's when he went to TNA?
Well, Kevin Nash, he would come back the next year after WrestleMania 19. He would be in that Backlash from Worcester, Massachusetts that we reviewed on the It Doesn't Matter podcast. Check the archives. And he was in a 6-man tag, and then he proceeded to face Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match for the world title with Mick Foley, #1 rated Mick Foley as the special guest referee.
Oh, my.
And his, excuse me, he
Gotcha.
would, there's a cough button. He would go to the 2003 Elimination Chamber, having lost a hair match to Chris Jericho the week before. He didn't really shave his head; he just got a haircut. But in that match, the Elimination Chamber match, he barely touched toes with his old nemesis, Bill Goldberg. But he got eliminated, and that was it for Kevin Nash for a while.
Now, was that the Elimination Chamber where Triple H won?
Yes.
That was
Goldberg
the second
should have won.
Yeah.
My man Goldberg went hot in that match.
Yep.
He was taking everybody out, went for that spear. Triple H, boom, sledgehammer.
It would mean more if he beat me later, 1-on-1.
Did I know you at that time, Dom, when that happened, or was it after?
We knew each other. 'Cause I think I watched that at Paul's crib, your platform podcast, Paul Martinez.
That was 05?
Yeah.
Oh, 3?
Oh,
No.
03, okay.
I wasn't in town yet, so we hadn't met just yet.
Well, we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it. A lot of memories, man. Everything just blends together.
We put you in there.
Yes, sir. All right, so what was it? 2010, 11? He started feuding with CM Punk, but that never happened.
Hold on, you're skipping over TNA.
That's
TNA
John's
Good.
part. If that's John's part, if you want to
Oh,
talk
that's
about
my part.
TNA.
Kevin Nash, like many wrestlers, there's only one game in town. That was the WWE. Alternatively, there was TNA wrestling, led by good old Double J Jeff Jarrett,
Haha.
and they ran through lots of people.
Hey
They had
yo.
the Jeff Jarrett era, and they had Christian Cage coming in, being a big solo superstar, and
I
then
was
there's the
actually shocked.
then there's
Christian
the
Cage winning that was a shock for me because they never treated him like that in WWE, and then you actually seen a different guy. Nothing compared to what he's at right now, but you actually seen a superstar that you never expected in that showed up in a different company.
he was the
Are you,
first.
are you just saying that because you heard him on Chris Van Vliet?
No, I didn't even listen to that one. Did I?
It was a good one.
Oh no, I'm right. No, I did listen to that, but I did. I completely forgot. I'm barely sleeping right now, so. All right, John, get back on topic.
But Kevin Nash did not. Early on he challenged Jeff Jarrett for the NWA Championship, and he didn't win it. Later on, the most notoriety he got in TNA wrestling was joining the X Division, because on the advice of Scott Hall, you gotta hang out with the young kids, gotta get over with the young guys. So Kevin Nash hung around the X Division, hung around with Alex Shelley, and they had the I Spy Productions, and they had a lot of very, very funny vignettes. If you can find them all, someone did a compilation of them on YouTube. You can find them; they're really funny. They had the Paparazzi Championship Series, the PCS, involved Austin Aries, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Low Key. So what? Okay, if I can remember correctly, it's like Jay Lethal goes up to Kevin Nash, like, "Hey Kev, why don't I get this, or why don't I get that?" Blah 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 blah. And Kevin Nash just says, "Because you're black."
Oh my god!
But
Oh my god!
Wow.
you can
He
see
said that on TV.
Hey, it was a different era.
Oh man, you
But-
can't get away with that.
They're talking to Sanjay Dutt. It's like, you want to keep this up, or you'll just disappear forever. You'll go to a place no one will ever remember, like India. Hey, that thing was full of hilarity, if you ask me. So
What year was this again?
It has to be 07.
05, 06.
Close.
Kevin Nash, or 07, yeah. Kevin Nash in the Paparazzi Championship Series. Kevin Nash in the X Division. So he was having fun. I mean, he would be in TNA and throughout the next many years, and he would reunite with X-Pac and Scott Hall randomly. He was part of the Main Event Mafia, right? With Steiner and Booker and Sting and Kurt. And then they left TNA. He came back to the WWF at the 2011 Royal Rumble, the largest Royal Rumble for a long time until Saudi Arabia.
We was there.
And Booker T and Big Daddy Cool Diesel made a return at the Royal Rumble. It was hot as shit.
Yep.
Yeah. And later that year, 2011, or 2012, Kevin Nash would begin a feud with CM Punk, but due to health conditions, they were not able to complete the feud. Kevin Nash would complete that feud with Triple H at the December pay-per-view of 2012, or if it was Armageddon or something else, where he was in the pedigree position. He fell too quickly, botch, and that would be the sledgehammer match that Paul Martinez of the Your Platform podcast was referring to on the upcoming brand new series. Tell him,
Yes. IDM fans, I am bringing to you Wrestling That Made Us. We're going to go take a deep dive and we're gonna relive moments and matches of what made you a wrestling fan. I just had my man Paul Martinez hit me up. He wanted to be on the show. So we took it back to 2002 SummerSlam, the greatest SummerSlam of all time. That's my opinion. We reviewed that in week 26 of the It Doesn't Matter podcast. Check the archives. You want to listen to the full show. But we talked about him being a fan and how, how the whole story began, how Shawn was gone for 4 years with a back injury, made his return. Triple H was the big bad, big bad guy, the big bad heel at the time. And Shawn didn't have he didn't come for a wrestling match. He came for a fight. He brought the fight. He got the win with a roll up. And then Triple H did that dastardly thing that he does with the sledgehammer, take him out. And this was only supposed to be a one-off for Shawn Michaels. That one-off lasted, 6-7 years later?
He made a second career out of it.
Yes. And still to this day, I still say his second half of his career was better than the first. That's my opinion. We're going to be talking about Shawn Michaels later on this month as well, but
It doesn't matter right now.
Check out Wrestling That Made Us. Coming soon.
Yes.
Boom.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that was Kevin Nash's last match, I believe, in the WWE. I would see him on an independent show here or there, and I would see him in a Magic Mike movie there or there. Did a great job, Tarzan.
Did he have rhythm?
And blues. Balls, that is. No. But yeah, Kevin Nash would induct Scott Hall into the 2014 Hall of Fame, and the very next year, Shawn Michaels would induct Kevin Nash into the WWE Hall of Fame for 2015 in Santa Clara, San Jose, actually at the HP Pavilion, the SAP Center in San Jose. I was there. That was my last Hall of Fame.
I was there as well.
So, but yeah, then Kevin Nash joined as a two-time Hall of Famer in 2021 or 2020. He was one of the pandemic Hall of Fames, and he went in with Hogan, Hall, X-Pac, the four of them, the NWO. So two-time Hall of Famer Kevin Nash, and that's the history of Kevin Nash in pro wrestling. We glossed over a few things, but that's him in a nutshell. And we've already talked about how influential he was as part of the NWO and his great career in the WWF as Diesel and coming back.
Let's have some fun, fellas. Here we go. I'm going to ask you all some questions.
Ooh.
Favorite version or favorite era of Kevin Nash? You have Big Sexy Kevin Nash, WCW. You have Big Daddy Cool Diesel, or you got the silver hair Kevin Nash at TNA. We're going to start with Platino. Who you got?
Give me Big Sexy. That's when he actually was on his shit. He was actually making a name for himself, and I know the Diesel character, he was champion and he was a main eventer, but the Big Sexy and WCW, that's where it really made him. That's what really showed out and had his character just to new heights that he hadn't seen before. Because he even asked, I guess he said in a previous interview that he asked Vince, "Hey, what can I do to be more valuable to this company?" And he said, "Nothing really. You're doing everything you can." So he said, "Fuck it, getting paid, going somewhere else." And I don't blame him.
All about the money.
You got to do it, man. When you got a family, your priorities change. And as a new father, I understand why you got to go for the check now. It's all about
the check before the kid.
Hey, I'm not beating myself up like that no more. Maybe.
John, what about you?
It's a tough one. I mean, I just love Diesel. I love the character. I mean, again, I got into wrestling in late '95, which was past Diesel's prime. But I guess somewhere I knew about what was going on. I just thought he was really cool. I loved the whole thing, and it's almost like a game of trying to find something that's not there, because you're trying to look for good Diesel matches. They don't exist. Like he's not that great of a wrestler. No matter how hard we try, you end up finding just matches with him fighting the $1 Million Corporation, Bam Bam, Tatanka, and Sid. It's like, these are not great matches. So would he have great matches? Would he have great moments? I mean,
yeah, a couple.
If you want to watch some, if you want to, like, say, top 5 Kevin Nash matches, you'd have him and Diesel versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 12. You could throw in that Nash and DDP at the Slamboree when he won the title. Yep. You can throw in him and Goldberg at Starrcade.
1 and 2. He did have another match for Goldberg, which actually was pretty decent.
Not at Starrcade, though.
No, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't that. Yeah, you're right. I'll take that.
I mean, the Kevin Nash as an early part of the Outsiders, when they were still trying, they had him and the Outsiders versus Harlem Heat at Halloween Havoc '96.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oof.
Oh, man. The most infamous Dom.
Spring Stampede.
No. I'm waiting for you to say it.
You want to talk about a click?
No. Don't say it.
We come for the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we come for you.
That's right. But there's not much. And of course, I'm gonna forget Diesel versus Bret Hart at the Survivor Series '95.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yes.
I'm like, if you didn't say Bret Hart, I'm like, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, him versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. That's Shawn Michaels took that stupid ass bump. Literally a stupid ass bump. So it's tough. But there's 5 Kevin Nash matches that you can watch. But it's like, I've seen those already. I'm kind of bored of them. So give me something else. But those are the ones I can remember, that you can find.
So you got Kevin Nash being the guy over Diesel?
That's Big Daddy Cool Diesel. That's my guy. Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
You got Diesel over Big Sexy.
That's right.
I was going to say Big Sexy. Well, Big Daddy Cool for me. Because, that was my childhood right there. And when you did see him in WCW, he was cool and it was all right, but just him taking everybody out and jackknife and his encounter with Sid, the Bret Hart match, Shawn Michaels match, Diesel's that guy. Like, I play with Diesel and 2K over Kevin Nash any day, still to this day.
Okay, I see how it is.
So my next question was going to be his favorite matches, and John already basically listed all that, so we can skip that. But all right, here we go, John. Kevin Nash, Diesel, who's his best tag team partner? We asked this question before with Owen Hart, who's Owen's best tag partner. Who's Kevin Nash's best tag partner?
I mean, you just want to say the easy answer, Scott Hall. And your second answer would be Shawn Michaels. And your third answer would be Eric Young.
There you go. There you go.
But
everybody won tag team championship with.
I would like to see more of Diesel and Shawn Michaels. It's an era that I don't know as well. So if I had to go back and look some up, that dudes with attitudes, that's what I'd be looking at.
Yeah, that's something I gotta go back and watch, and because I don't remember too much about that era at that point in time for some reason. But I'm going with Scotty, man. Scotty was that dude. I'm always gonna be favoring Razor, man. That's my top dog, and he's in my Mount Rushmore if I was ever to create a wrestler. If you're gonna take that.
Am I sharing my notes with y'all? Because y'all just naming what I have left
left
on my list.
Let's get a special shout out to the Insiders tag team, Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page.
Ooh.
Yep.
Very true. Well, it just shows that Kevin Nash has had a career that we've all been fortunate enough to watch, except for the ones in TNA.
Especially as Chet Lemon with his commentary partner, Black Snow don't like the way he's throwing that ball. That kick's really bad. Oh, Black Snow's about to kick him in.
And of course, another TNA angle. Scott Hall no showing a pay-per-view tag team match, and Kevin Nash having to be stand there and take it while Samoa Joe rips him a new one.
Yeah, I remember. I think Samoa Joe didn't even want to do that, but they told him, "Hey, go shit on his partner," and I mean, just go ballistic. I was like,
And then Janelle Grant came out.
oh God.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. I was gonna ask Mount Rushmore of big men. Since Abel mentioned Mount Rushmore.
He's not a big
Go for
man.
Mount
No.
Rushmore. He is a big man.
I'm not talking about Kevin. I'm talking about Razor.
Yeah, we're talking about Kevin
Okay.
Nash.
Okay, man.
Who you got for Mount Rushmore for big men?
Me?
Is he on your list?
Oh,
Kevin Nash.
that's tough. Because I'm adding Yoke Dog and Eki. Those guys could fucking move for big guys.
We got two more.
I want to put Taker, but he's such a different character. It's so... He is a big man. It's just... He's on a different pedestal for some reason. But he's in there, so fuck it. And no, I'm not going to put him in there.
I mean, it's a weird category. You know, you have big men, and that can be big fat guys, big tall guys. Get your like a Sid and Diesel, and that'd be a different category. You know, I would think.
All right, so
if you had like
whatever category Undertaker's in, you put him in the same category then.
well, I was thinking immediately of Yokozuna and Vader.
Yep.
Yeah.
As for two other big men, like for Mount Rushmore, I was kind of struggling with that one. But no, I would think Yokozuna and Vader would be a different category than a Kevin Nash and a Sid would be. Because those are just tall guys.
Okay, so you're talking big tall guys, or you're talking...
Big tall guys, yeah.
Okay, so then you'd have to put them in there, I guess.
Not Big Cass, no.
No.
Not
Taker.
Test.
Taker, Kane.
You can put Taker. You can put Taker, Kane. Eligible people for Kevin Nash Hall of Fame. Taker, Undertaker, Kane, Kevin Nash, Sid, Adam Mom.
No.
Y'all forgot Big Show.
Big Show, yeah.
Big Show, yeah, you got it. The Giant, not Big Show.
Big Show is the one that could be in the Vader and Yokozuna one. He's just a freak, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm putting the Giant, no damn Big Show. Captain Asino shows no mercy.
Well, I got Yoko. I got Vader, of course. I don't have Kevin Nash in mind. I will put I'll put Show up there, and I'll probably put Mark Henry.
Yeah. Feasible category.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you can't go wrong either way. So,
would you consider Mark a big guy or just freakishly strong?
Well, I wonder what section of Bradley's he shops in.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Lingerie. We need help.
Got enough drapes?
P&G.
Nah, just no bullshit though. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't put Mark in there, man. That's my dude.
And you a Mark Henry guy.
I know. I just don't consider him a big guy. He's just a strong fucking guy.
Well, he ain't small.
No, but he's not tall either.
Oh man! All right, last one, John. Dream match: Kevin Nash and who, or Diesel and who?
Well, it was Diesel versus a guy that stole his style, so much so that Kevin Nash changed his own style and found out, fuck it, I don't care how many people wear this style, I'm wearing it. This other one looks terrible. It would be Kevin Nash, Diesel, versus that former Motley Crue bodyguard, Andrew Test Martin.
That's a good one.
That'd be a good one.
That's a real good one. All right. What about you, Platinum?
I'm going to go the opposite route. I'm going to have somebody bumping around for him. And I'm not going to have anybody you probably think, but you know what? I'll have AJ Styles go against Kevin Nash. I don't know if they ever fought in TNA, but especially AJ Styles right now, you don't want to have Kevin Nash bumping at all. He's just going to sit there and just beat the hell out of AJ, and then all you need is one or two moves. AJ's going to pull a phenomenal forearm or something, or a calf crusher, boom, 1, 2, 3, game over. You thought I was gonna go Kenny, but nah, I leave Kenny out of this.
Okay, who? Shamrock?
No, Omega.
Oh, I'm like, I wasn't thinking that whatsoever.
I thought about Ospreay too, but I think that's a different category. I don't feel like it would work his style. But the way Ospreay's been selling lately, he'll probably figure something out.
You must be playing 2K. Giants versus cruiserweights.
It's the best matches ever, man.
But I want some muscle, some big meaty man slapping meat. So give me Kevin Nash, and give me. Let's see. I'm gonna catch y'all off guard. It'll be interesting to see if he could do it. Kevin Nash and Ryback.
That would be a guy he would wrestle. So
Yeah.
Give me that.
give me that promo. Give me that Ryback promo.
Oh God.
It's gonna go like this.
Oh man.
Just as an Unsolved Mysteries update, AJ Styles versus Kevin Nash for the TNA Legends Championship, only on Daily Motion.
Well, gotta change my answer now.
There you go.
Tis but a dream.
Jesus.
Oh, Kevin Nash, hell of a career. He had match of the year in 1995 at WrestleMania 11 with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He's Wrestler of the Year of 1995. He was number 1 in the PWI in 1995 out of 500.
What'd that get him?
Bad knees.
Oh.
He's a 2-time TNA Legends champion. He's a TNA Tag Team champion with Showtime, Eric Young. He's a 5-time WCW champion. He's a 9-time WCW Tag champion, 6 times with Scott Hall, 1 time with Sting, and 2 times with Diamond Dallas Page. He's a WWF champion. He's an Intercontinental champion, and he's a Tag Team champion with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and he is a 2-time Hall of Famer in the WWE. Ooh. How you doing? Hell of a career for Super Shredder.
Yes. The best role. And the Russian guy in The Punisher.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
You know, that was actually, he actually did get stabbed by a real knife at that time.
That's terrible.
Yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, just keep going. Fucking guy gets stabbed in real life, and he's just like, hey, finish the fucking scene.
Terrible.
Whew. That was a good movie, though.
Well, that's it for Kevin Nash. But next week, Platino's Choice. We're taking it back to 2011. Money in the Bank. Everybody knows what that's all about. John Cena and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Or WWE Championship. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a good one. Platino, close us out.
All right. Well, the producer's already given us the closeout. We got Money in the Bank going out tonight. With that being said, cash your checks because you ain't got no money. Everybody's going to be broke. Rent's not going to get paid. You're all going to be homeless. I'm cashing all the money because I am the $1 Million Man. This is Bobby Platino here with Strapfax and the Notorious One, Dom. And we will see you next week. Boom.
Boom.